Our very first exciting company is here to change the way you service your car and motorbike. Okay? So let's put your hands together and welcome Glenn from FIXIR.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Glenn. I'm from FIXIR, where we connect motorists to reliable mechanics. Before FIXIR was started, my co-founder's dad had a problem with his car. He brought his car to the workshop he always goes to and was quoted $2,000 for a change in gearbox. Not willing to pay that price, he went on to ask many of his other friends and many other workshops, and after a few days, finally got a price of $800. This represented more than a 50% discount off his original price. 50%. That is very significant. And this is why FIXIR is here today, because we believe that the automotive after-sales industry should be more transparent, and consumers deserve to have this transparency. So as a motorist, typically when you have a problem with your car or bike, there are a few questions you have in your mind. So firstly, which mechanic is reliable? How do I know if I'm not being scammed? Whether there's a reliable mechanic near me, and finally, there must be a more efficient way to make all of this more efficient. So what we did in FIXIR, it was a very simple solution, mobile app solution, where users can just download the application, submit a problem, chat with our mechanics, and finally schedule an appointment to solve their problem. So what you see on the screen now is actually what we'll be launching in a few weeks' time, our second version. So stay tuned for that. Back in Singapore, when we launched last year, we had many workshops that signed up with us and paid us to sign up. What we did was that we tried to understand more about their requirements and therefore now have the second version of the application to serve them better. So back in Singapore also, we wanted to get more consumers on board. In addition to the typical digital marketing we do, what we did was to partner with a large fleet manager, which is in this case Uber, which has more than tens of thousands of drivers back in Singapore, where we launched Chinese New Year deals where all our providers extended discounts for their drivers. And here in Vietnam, just last week, we clinched a deal with Camudi to do pre-purchase inspection services here in Ho Chi Minh City. So we're also very excited to be partnering with Mercedes-Benz, where we'll be doing a white label deal to enable them to retain their consumers back in their dealership in Singapore first, and then expanding region-wide. So if you want to know more about this deal, please feel free to talk to me later also. So FIXIR started with a very simple go-to-market strategy where we wanted to connect drivers to mechanics. But what we realized was there was one key player that was required in this whole system, and that was the spare parts suppliers. How you can imagine this is that currently what we do is that we partner with spare parts suppliers to transfer the pricing all the way down to the end consumer, where therefore we achieve transparency in this market. And fortunately for us, one of the key investors currently is one of the major suppliers back in Singapore for European parts. So here in Vietnam, we also partner with Total, a French oil company, where we're doing oil change services, which we launched just 2 weeks back, and currently have more than 50 customers that we serve. So the market size here in Vietnam is about $3.2 billion, based on the amount of spare parts as well as maintenance being done. And since we get a transaction fee out of it, we get about $98 million from this market. So there are 3 ways to make money. Firstly, from an onboarding fee from workshops as well as mechanics. Secondly, a transaction fee from the parts. And finally, application development fee when we partner with dealerships like Mercedes-Benz. So we expect our revenue to hit about $400,000 in August 2018 monthly, with the main of it coming from the sale of spare parts. So today we're looking for $350,000 to be spread over 4 main areas, namely administrative, personnel, technology, as well as marketing. But what's more exciting is what we'll be doing in the next year, where we'll be going regional, starting of course from Vietnam, as well as Malaysia. We'll be doing more B2B contracts with big companies like Uber and Mercedes-Benz. And very excitingly, we're also extending our technology base to predictive maintenance. And what this means is that before your car or bike breaks down, you will know that there's a problem, and you can solve it before you get stranded somewhere. So I'm very proud to say that I have a very strong team with me. Personally, I started several businesses before, and I feel that I'm good to lead the team. Ryan, who has managed different mobile applications before and sold one of them away successfully. Hiroshi, who has more than 6 years of digital field experience. Yun, who is our country head currently here in Vietnam and helps secure contracts here in Vietnam. And finally, Jerome, who has more than 8 years of technical development experience. So we are very lucky to have strong partners back in Singapore as well as here in Vietnam, and we want to extend these relationships to become even stronger. Personally, for me, I always feel that doing business is not just about making money. It's also about giving back to society. So back when I was in Singapore, we did a charity car wash for the Dyslexia Association to raise funds for kids who have difficulty reading and writing. And through this, we were very fortunate also to then know more about consumers, and also this led us to partner with Uber. So with this, I hope that we can make a difference here and also in Vietnam, and to bring transparency to the automotive after-sales market. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Glenn.